Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mentally Gone Reacts. My name is Callie Lacerda.
And I'm Gabriela Lopes.
And today, like every other time when we react to a movie, because to us it's always a treat, we hope that it's a treat for you guys as well, we are going to be reacting to
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. A lot of people consider this movie to be one of the greatest documentary styled or pseudo documentary, because it's not, obviously it's not a real documentary, it's a movie still with actors and everything,
but based on true events.
Yeah, and it's considered like Steven Spielberg was kind of anointed to take on this very heavy task of representing or portraying exactly what happened during the Holocaust. And I think it's the first time up until that point in history, maybe, that people actually got a glimpse into the reality of the horrors of the Holocaust, of the Second World War. And so for that reason, a lot of people say that it's almost an unwatchable movie in terms of like emotional impact, that it's so profoundly grotesque in like the most necessary way possible, where it just really shows you the truth, and it kind of just skins everything, like it just removes any facade, any sugarcoating that history books might have done to the event, by just almost as if like a camera was taken into that time. And so that's my understanding of it, and I'm beyond excited. It's also considered by many to be Liam Neeson's most important role. Not maybe his biggest, but also maybe his biggest, but definitely his most important one in terms of his contribution to humanity and to the raising of awareness, you know, and that's what art does. Good art raises the awareness, and it raises the soul, it raises the spirit. And we watched Taken. And
which was raising awareness to like human trafficking too, which is interesting. So he must have like a rapport with like a record of just, you know, doing movies that have like some significance in what they are, you know, kind of portraying.
Yeah, exactly. Like he probably has like a prerequisite, a preset of rules that, you know, he has to, every role that he receives, every screenplay, it has to maybe tick off some boxes and have a real impact. And so we saw Taken, we loved it, and now we're going to see Schindler's List. And before we jump into it, I just want to quickly thank, first of all, I want to quickly thank everybody who commented and left loving messages on our Dark Knight video, on our previous reaction. Because at that time, my mom had gotten into an accident, and there was just an influx of just love and positivity and prayers, and I can't thank you guys enough. And I just wanted to say that before we get started. And then secondly, we want to thank our patrons. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, thank our patrons for supporting us. You guys are just coming in like new ones every week, every day. And we hope that we can, you know, make more content for our Patreon soon, but just like with things going on, we haven't been able to get around to it yet, but very soon we will. And we're going to start with Iron Man, which we said announced on our YouTube channel, and we're going to start the MCU journey and maybe a bunch of other little things like anime series and just things like that. So
because things have been beyond hectic, and we can only kind of apologize, but at the same time, I think that you can't really apologize for how life happens.
Yeah, it's just human.
You could just do the best you can. And so we thank everybody who has been supporting, and you guys help in ways that you can't even imagine. And and obviously everybody else who has been supporting this YouTube channel, you know, like we crossed 10,000. We didn't celebrate deliberately, like we didn't decide to do like a celebratory 10,000 subscriber video, because I feel like that just propagates the illusion that numbers matter as much as a lot of YouTubers make it seem. And that's not me just virtue signaling or trying to play a role like a fake humble card. It's just the reality. It's like most YouTubers make it a big deal. It's like, oh guys, like we're almost at 100,000 and stuff, and they just create this weird connection with the audience, and I just don't want to do that.
A lot of the times I'm not even paying attention to the subscriber count. Like, is that bad? I don't even look until I look, and then I'm like, oh wow, like, that's pretty great. But yeah, I I don't like. I haven't watched much of like Holocaust movies at all, so I've never seen like any,
Right.
visual portrayal of what that would look like. But I have read books like
Yeah.
in school. I can't remember the name of a book that I read. I don't know if it was like something about a suitcase or something, but definitely Anne Frank's diary. So those were just like reads that were, part of the curriculum in school, and those books just like ripped my heart out. So I can't even imagine like watching something dealing with this thing, cuz books like are very descriptive in words, but they still
Yeah.
don't do what like watching visually what happened, you know?
Right. Like watching moving pictures, which is what they called movies when it first started. Um, and yeah, it's like it just generates this visceral feeling within you, like it's that cringy. I don't know how many of you guys have seen, but probably a lot, when you go into an AMC movie and before the movie there's that lady
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman, yeah, she like walks in the movie and it's like
Heartbreak feels good in a place
it's
like this.
and the heroes on screen become the best part of us, or
Yeah.
something like that, so
And our heroes become the best of us. Or
yeah,
something.
yeah, it's like it's like that cringy thing, but it's true though.
Yeah.
Like there's truth to it. It just comes off ingenuous because
No,
she's
I
being
feel
paid.
it when she says it. I'm
She's
like,
scary
wow.
looking, dude. Like not in a bad way, but she has like very intense eyes.
Gaze. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I watched a show with her in it. Oh, damn, I forgot the name of the show. But if anyone knows, it has like Shailene Woodley
Yeah.
and I forget what else. But it's like not, I don't know if it's a big show.
Mm.
But she was in it and she was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I've seen her in, I think. I don't know. But
And we'll probably get to more movies where she's in it in the history of this channel. But then last thing before we press play finally is I just want to like preface this by saying, obviously, and this is very important for everybody to really understand, we are civilians. We are normal human beings. Like we are not history experts. We are not graduates in history. We are not professors of history. We are not anything along those lines. And if anything, I have a horrible memory. And I've said that countless times. I'm not good with remembering things, remembering numbers and dates. I think it's like a faulty thing in my brain where I can't really remember stuff like that, specifics.
And also, you went to school in Brazil,
Yeah,
so like
yeah,
the history lessons are probably like a little bit different than like
Yeah.
U.S. history and history that's taught here, like
Exactly.
in the U.S.
That's another thing that I also was going to say too, is exactly that, is that I went to grade school and high school in Brazil, and the curriculum there is more geared towards biology and just like medical school, because like that's the big thing that everybody aspires towards. But my point is, even the language barrier of things that I've learned, names of people, names of, treaties and like specific stuff from World War II that I learned were all in Portuguese. And so I might remember them if I watch something, if I see something, but if I also get something wrong, which is my point, I just ask for patience, compassion, and just understanding, because that's, I think, one of the reasons why like the opposite of those things happened, and that's what generated what will be depicted in the movie. So if you guys could just bear with us throughout the movie and just allow us to learn and to assimilate new information and to grow as people, then, and then hopefully you guys do the same in other aspects of your life. Even if you're an expert on history, like I'm just establishing expectations here so that there's no misunderstanding. So if you're searching for a movie reaction of people who are experts on it, click off. This is not it.
Yeah.
Right.
But we will like hopefully have,
Yeah.
a lot to say like just on
just
what it
on
makes
the
us
movie
feel,
itself and
right?
everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our analysis of it. But yeah.
All right.
Let's
So
go.
with that being said, let's put the glasses on.
Not
We have
me.
our notepads ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
We'll be taking notes throughout the movie. And a few people said, like, who takes notes while they watch a movie? And I am one of those people, because I have, again, I have horrible memory. Like, I have to jot things down and then try to, and even when I jot them down at the end of the movie, when we do our commentary, I have to like really work on remembering.
And people say that we miss like important details and stuff.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that's
like
normal. It's like you're not gonna get everything.
yeah, I was gonna say like nobody
Gets
catches everything
Yeah.
on the first watch of a movie, so that like that's fine. And then maybe years from now we'll do like rewatches and stuff, and maybe we'll have more to say. But
Yeah, but
you
the
know,
internet expects you to know everything. And that's
Yeah.
why I had to preface this by just letting you guys know, like, let's have more compassion on the internet. All right, so with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Ready? Mm-hmm. My glasses on.
I had a fun fact. Well, I don't know if this it's gonna take place in Germany. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
My dad was born in
In Germany,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cuxhaven, Germany.
Cuxhaven, it's called?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, he didn't live there very long, and then he went back to Portugal because his my grandparents are Portuguese.
Right.
But just an interesting fact, like maybe we hear about Cuxhaven in this.
That'll be interesting.
I don't know.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. Ready?
Because the reason why I'm mentioning is because I visited Germany, and we actually stopped by a concentration camp, and no one is allowed to actually go into it, so you can only observe it from the outside, I think.
Oh, shoot. So it's never open for the public?
But
or
they
just
have
that time?
it there still, and it's kind of like a memorial kind of thing for the lives that were lost. So like I don't know, like it's tricky because it's like, why didn't they just destroy it? But I think that it's meant to
but
like
it's good to keep.
it's like it's a reminder of just this painful event that
Yeah, because in my opinion, humanity has to be reminded of these atrocious things that we ourselves commit.
Yeah, and not just
forever,
like wipe it away.
Forever, yeah. For future generations to understand the potential of human malevolence, like the full realization. And it wasn't even the full realization because Hitler, like the war ended when Hitler had already done a lot of damage, obviously. But it's like the full realization of his potential would have been devastated. It's like our reality would have, the fabrics of reality would have been completely like changed from what we're used to now. Yeah. So
all right.
thank goodness that, it ended.
This is going to be a roller coaster. I can feel it.
Let's see it. So
I'm not ready. I'm not prepared, guys. I'm going to try.
I'm excited.
Not to,
Yeah. Let's just check it out. Ready then?
Yeah, not to get like enraged.
All right, ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, and anticlimactic.
Wait, make countdown for the Patreon.
Oh yeah,
members.
I always forget.
Start from 5.
All right, so starting from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and play.
Oh
shoot, look, it's like going down.
Wow. And it's completely used up, like the wax.
And the color is gone. September 1939, the German forces defeated the Polish army. Oh, it went by so fast. Jews were ordered to register all family members and relocate to major cities. More than 10,000 Jews from the countryside arrived in Krakow daily. 10,000 daily? Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So he's part of the Nazi party. Look at the stylized shot. The eyes, emphasizing the eyes. There's like a light that's not natural. It's like lit artificially. Look at the smoke kind of emanating, which at the beginning we saw the smoke of the candle. What's the name of this dance? It's like waltz or something?
Yeah, probably.
Bring them over around the drinks. Who shall I say they are from? You can say they are from me.
He's a powerful man, I suppose. Wealthy man. Wealthy stature.
Remembers me.
This guy's like very charismatic, right? He's
Yeah, look, he's not letting him go back now.
He like charms people, it seems. He's a charmer.
How are you doing? You'd leave a woman alone at the table in a place like this?
The guy's like flabbergasted. He's like,
You're the picture of loneliness.
He just came to swoop in.
he's like observing, right? He's analyzing the room. He's reading the room. Thaler is like a German currency. The whole trunk costs one Thaler.
No, in Germany they use arrows.
Euros?
Yeah,
Euros?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know about back then.
Mm-hmm. Interesting music. If God wants to honor you, he'll send you worldwide. Interesting.
Oh, this guy is the important one.
I thought it was the guy with the girl.
Because this guy had a reserved table no one could sit at.
And he feels left out.
Who is that man?
That's Oskar Schindler.
Oh, he's Schindler.
Oh, so Schindler's a person. I thought that Schindler was like a city in Germany, like that. Damn, look, this guy's highly... Oh, look. He gained his trust. Interesting. Manipulative.
Oh, no. What are they doing?
You're gonna cut it off.
Wow.
Sad. Oh, look, and they have armbands with the Star of David. The Jewish Council comprised of 24 elected Jews, personally responsible for carrying out the orders of the regiment in Krakow, such as drawing up lists for work details, food and housing, and place to lodge complaints. Regime, yeah.
Are you Itzhak Stern or not?
I am.
Where can we talk?
I am. Every time they say I am in movies, it's like a subtle reference to God, I feel. Because God says I am in multiple ancient religions.
They'd put up all the money. I'd do all the work. What if you don't mind my asking, would you do
I
it?
see that it had a certain panache. That's what I'm good at. Not the work, the presentation.
This guy's like Steve Jobs. He had the same mindset. He's the visionary.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't know anybody who'll be interested in this.
Well, they should be. Itzhak Stern. Tell them they should be.
Oh, you could hear trains, you heard?
Yeah. Liam Neeson kind of has like an Irish undertone in his accent.
He does, right?
I don't know if I'm reading into it.
Yeah.
I think someone told us that he was Irish in the comments, but maybe I misread that too. But I can hear it a little bit.
All 10,000 units.
This is not my problem.
This is not his problem. This is not your problem.
This is not my problem.
That guy's just repeating.
I know.
It's not his problem.
I'm going to make sure they find out.
Now it's your problem.
You be quiet.
This guy's like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Hello.
Oh,
Pardon me for
he's always there listening.
nice shirt. Do you know where I can find a nice shirt like that?
Seems like a little...
Look, everybody's scattered. Because they see the pin he's wearing, you know?
We're here to pray.
You're fooling the wrong
Do
guy.
you have any idea how much a shirt like this costs?
Nice things cost money.
Oh, he was looking for like an investor, right?
He's looking for product.
Like someone who has money too.
No, he's looking for the factories that he can buy. So he's acting about cloth.
This won't be a problem.
From time to time.
Interesting.
Because then he's going to barter with product in order to get this bankrupt industry, like multiple bankrupt industries, because Jewish people aren't allowed to own property. Establishes a closed Jewish district south of the Vista residency. The walled ghetto is compulsory. All Jews from the surrounding areas are forced from there. You could read if you want.
Yeah, I'll
It's like
probably
hard to read it quick. Just aimlessly walking without a destination. Imagine that. And they use Jewish boys to hold the umbrellas for the for the German soldiers.
And they definitely can escape it because when they were entering, they had to, you know, give their name, and we saw that, you know,
Yeah,
them like taking down.
there's no way to run. This guy's getting all of his valuables, which are metals and precious metals and... Damn.
Oh, shoot, even the chain from the door hinge? Is that what he got?
I believe so. Look at the brainwashing of the children, bro. Oh my god, it's gonna be a hard one to sit through. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard one.
And we still see that today with certain things, you know?
Yeah.
So he's going to live in one of their homes that they were pushed out of?
Yeah.
Wow.
The members of the Nazi party, they get the properties of these Jewish people.
I really didn't want to see Liam Neeson as a villain, though.
Yeah.
Like, I did not want to see... I was thinking it was going to be the opposite. Like, I didn't think he was going to be a Nazi or a Nazi affiliate.
Sympathizer, yeah.
Oh, they're sharing. Crammed into the place.
You see the boys with the umbrellas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the worst than everyone says, but it's a lot of money. A lot of money.
My housing assignment.
Assignment. So they're like assigned.
Yeah. They don't have any freedom at all.
He's a very important man. Just give him 2 minutes of your time, since when did time cost money?
Time is money. That's what people say, right?
Yeah.
Look where you're living. Look where you've been put. Not good enough. A couple of months ago, you'll be right. Not anymore.
Money, still money.
They still care about money, though.
You told Mr. Stern you wanted to speak to me. I'm here. I've made you a fair offer.
Fair would be a percentage on the company.
True.
How do we know that you will do what you say?
Because I said I would. You want the contract? To be upheld by what court? I said what I'll do. That's our contract.
They're like cursing him out before accepting it. He doesn't drink. Haven't seen him touch it.
Yeah, it's the second time he refused.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's a load of cash.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a factory?
Yeah, that's the factory he just got.
Directly to the SS, not to the worker. He gets nothing.
It's less. It's less than what they would pay a Pole.
It's less.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Poles cost more.
Poles are the Polish people?
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Right. So this is Poland?
It's owned by Germans, but it's outside the ghetto, so you can barter for extra goods, for eggs.
Barter,
I don't
yeah.
know what you need. With the Polish workers, you can't get it here.
Yeah, Polish.
Also, he's asking for 10 healthy...
They probably had to move out of their country,
Mm-hmm.
like, after everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Because of the war. I don't know. I think that's what it said in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'd find a good hiding place if I were you.
I'm not going to hide like some animal. There are places to hide.
They put you on trucks.
Yeah. I'm assuming this is before the concentration camps opened?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It seems like...
So here they define if you're valuable to keep alive, maybe.
Stay in this line all day, you'll still get one of these. They're no good. You'll have to leave the line now, then you'll get a blue card, a Blauschein, to say that you are an essential worker. I'll get these papers for you at Penkiewicz.
Essential worker, just like in the pandemic that we experienced. Right?
Not essential. I think you misunderstand the meaning of the word.
No Blauschein, sir. Stand over there. Move. Next.
Non-essential.
He's not right. Very good. He's 53 years old. It's too new.
To like fake it, you know, the date.
I'm a metal polisher.
Oh, shoot. I see what's going on.
Yeah, he's trying to save them. So he's trying
Wow.
to recruit, people from going on the trucks. He's recruiting employees for Schindler's factories.
So Schindler's List is probably the list of people that he was able to
Workers.
save.
Yeah, because they were essential workers in his factories.
Wow.
Interesting, right?
Oh, that's...
Look, pots.
We'll take the soup pot. The soup pot.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that's how it works. That's insane. Look at that. I've never seen a pot being made up until now.
If it's carbonized, clean it with a file. Don't touch both the electrodes at the same time. You get electrocuted. Here, have a try.
But they'll have to learn.
Yeah, but it's better to learn and survive than not,
Skilled metal worker. He can make tin pots, he can make tanks, he can make whatever Mr. Schindler asks. Give him your card. Moses, give him your card.
Easy, huh? It's like it doesn't matter if your humanity doesn't matter. It's your usability.
Yeah, usefulness.
Yeah.
Allow me just to represent you and speak for you. Don't say a word.
Filing, billing, keeping track of my appointments.
I wonder how many he'll get away with doing that for, though,
Yeah.
before they catch on.
Mm-hmm. Ah, man.
Like, there was a lot of metal workers today.
Yeah. Who deemed to be essential. It's like, yeah, like what's going on here? He's interviewing for a personal assistant. He's also a womanizer, it seems. Look at him.
Yeah, he's like, how easily distracted are they by my charm? Charming good looks.
Look at this lady. She's going at it, damn. Yeah, she's the one for sure, but he's not interested in the functionality part. He's like, he was romanticizing younger women. I don't know if that makes sense.
Pick one.
I don't know how.
Yeah, see? Qualified. I'm telling you, he's a womanizer. I had a feeling the obvious choice is the last one, but she's an old lady.
And he wasn't looking into her eyes.
No. Oh, man. See, so this is his, like, publishing is what I'm assuming, because he has women doing the typewriting. Maybe it's like I don't know. Whenever we see a banquet during these times.
Is that caviar?
Yeah.
Wow, that's freaking exquisite. Yeah.
And dark unsweetened chocolate, not in the shape of ladyfinger, chunk chocolate, big as my hand. You sample as wine tasting. We're going to need lots of cognac, the best.
Hennessy.
Hennessy cognac. I can't even say that.
Cognac. Oh, I can't say it now either.
Cognac.
Cognac.
Uh-oh.
Cognac.
Still getting in the groove.
Enabling me to proffer with absolute confidence and pride a full line of field and kitchenware unsurpassable in all respects by my competitors. See attached list and available.
Oh, look, the picture you were saying, blocking the lady.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward to a long and mutually prosperous association, I extend to you in advance my sincerest gratitude and very best regards.
Look at that.
Oskar Schindler.
Yeah, and he put together a nice gift basket with all the goodies.
This guy has amazing survival skills too. Like, obviously he's German, but you know what I'm saying? It's like he weaseled himself into the higher ranks.
He seems like very determined to be like a successful man.
Yeah.
Is the vibe I'm getting.
The first two, I've never had much use for. But the third...
Yeah, so proving what you said, that he's focused on himself,
Just pretend, for Christ's sake. Is that all?
Yeah, he seems like out of touch with like the gravity of, what they must be feeling.
Yeah.
I'm saying I couldn't have done this without you. The usual thing would be to acknowledge my gratitude. It would also, by the way, be the courteous thing. You're welcome.
He's like conflicted,
Yeah.
How can he celebrate when his people are being
Get out of here.
decimated, dude? Extinct, almost like on the brink of extinction. His people, his culture, his entire culture being destroyed, and then he's
Do
supposed to.
you think that people know that yet? Like,
No.
I don't think that, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that they know that at this point, that that's the fate that lies ahead.
All they know is that non-essential workers go on a truck, but nobody knows where yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they just know that it's like...
Yeah, because they don't have access to information, like news outlets and stuff, you know?
Right.
Mrs. Schindler,
He's like, oh, okay, so I'm going to take a good look at her so I remember. Because all the women that come in here come and go.
350 workers on the factory floor with one purpose.
To make pots and pans?
To make money for me.
That's actually a crazy concept to think about. 350 people making money for you. That's insane to think about.
Everybody, all the time.
Yeah, he seems so like, you know, self-entitled, huh? Like in it for himself a lot.
He came here with nothing, a suitcase, and built a bankrupt company into a major manufactory, and left with a steamer trunk, 2 steamer trunks full of money.
The song earlier was saying trunks.
And it makes all the difference in the world between success and failure.
Luck.
War.
Profiting
yeah,
off of war.
Supply and demand. The demand for war.
Which, surprise, surprise, America's known for, you know, doing that. Has done it since its inception, its conception. War is a very profitable time, unfortunately. Very unfortunately, actually.
No two man or maitre d' will ever presume I'm anyone other than Mrs. Schindler, and I'll stay.
Oh.
Bye, darling.
No, he can't make that promise.
Wow, look, the swastika is everywhere.
We're doing well. Yes. Better this month than last? Yes. Any reason to think next month will be worse?
The war could end.
And this like symbolism of him dining above.
Every day he comes, he's very grateful. It'll just take a minute.
This contrast.
But I'm sure that other plate was for him, right? Like, why didn't he sit down?
Oh, I didn't even see another plate. I just see like a 2-course meal. It's all for him.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah.
He doesn't have an arm.
They would have killed me. I work hard for you.
All right.
You're a good man. God bless you.
He can't even look at him, you know, because he feels like a fraud because he's not doing it for that purpose. He's doing it for money, just like he told his ex-wife.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about that already. Like,
yeah.
I've been taking a lot of notes.
Jews shoveling snow. It's got a ritual significance.
Ritual?
Come with me. I am an essential worker.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
One-armed Jew.
Yes, twice as useless.
Look at the snow. Look at the snow.
Oh, it's got full body chills.
I expect to be compensated.
File a grievance with the economic office. It's your right.
That's all he cares
Told
about.
us that to believe the Jewish skilled worker had a place in Reich economics
Look at the snow.
was a treasonable idea.
Is what the mom told the girl, just keep looking at the snow. Then the camera shows us the snow.
He was a metal press operator. Quite skilled.
You know, humans are wild.
That's why I said what I said on one of our reaction videos, that like we shouldn't have the choice of like who gets to live and die.
Never. That's only up for the grand architect of this universe.
Meanwhile, he's here like freaking having sex and doing whatever.
Indulging in pleasure.
Do not bring your baggage with you. It will follow you later. Leave your luggage on the platform. Clearly label it.
They're never gonna see that baggage again. That I can guarantee you.
I think I can guarantee you'll both be in southern Russia before the end of the month. Good day.
Stern! Stern!
Wow, look, there's like one window on each cart, kind of.
Yeah, they're being carried like animals.
Stern!
Sir, right there. Scream, Stern, scream.
Stop the train!
Stop the train!
Stern said, I apologize. Think about that. He's apologizing for what? And look, only one is saved from the hole and sealed it right back up.
Sorry, I'm stupid.
What if I got here 5 minutes later? Then where would I be?
Where would I be?
Wow.
Right? It's the wording. It's like
Wow.
careful wording. Like, then where would I be? Forget you. Wow, they even removed the
gold teeth.
Yeah. Even that.
And that's probably from people that are, you know, gone now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably what's left after they burn them alive or they burn the bodies, you know?
Or just kill them, yeah.
Yeah. Jewish town, a crackhead ghetto.
This is so horrible.
Segregated, of course.
Labor
the men in
camp
the barracks
under
near the
construction.
quarry, the women on the other side
My
of the
place
wire.
is where?
Yes, the villa.
You call that a villa? That's not a
We're
villa.
planning to turn it into the camp stables.
The house is that over there.
And they're the ones building it?
Yeah. Yeah, you make them build it themselves, which is the most screwed up part of it all.
There is an opening for a job away from all this backbreaking work at my new villa.
Oh, no. I don't know what's worse.
Why does he keep the thing on his
Domestic
nose?
experience.
What thing?
The napkin.
I think his nose is probably sniffling. It's cold.
Unterscharführer.
Jawohl.
Shoot her.
No.
Sir, she's foreman of construction.
We're not going to have arguments with these people.
What?
Oh, shoot her. Here, on my authority.
Oh, while the guy drinks coffee.
Take it down, re-pour it, rebuild it, like she said.
Wow.
We have more to see, but we have only 1 more hour of light.
So he did what she said anyways, but...
Those 6 centuries are a rumor. They never happened. Today is history.
Ay, ay.
Liquidation of the ghetto, meaning they're gonna liquidate it.
We will start with Ghetto B.
And do they call it ghetto, like, purposely? You know?
Yeah, I think that's where, like it's an impoverished part of the town, maybe. I don't know. Because people still use it today, you know, to like describe ghettos in New York, the ghettos in whatever state. It's usually impoverished areas that are underserved. Underserved areas, I think, is the right way to say it.
And this family is Jewish.
Yeah. Liquidation of the ghetto,
But they've been staying indoors and...
I suppose.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, they're swallowing it. Oh my god.
Nie zabijaj! Nie zabijaj!
No baggage.
We're getting out through the sewers. I have to check if they're clear. Mila, pack some things, nothing bigger
I can't
than this.
go in the sewers. I told you I won't go in the sewers.
Oh, this is the guy that we saw at the church earlier. Survival. She's not coming? Damn. That's why he kissed her, because he knew that she wouldn't, you know? Oh, and they got the girl in the back. Oh my god. That's so evil, man. It's crazy. Oh, that's so evil.
Oh my gosh.
So evil, man. So evil.
Mila!
She's gone. You think she took her own life, or is that her? That's her, right?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, I think that's her. It's rough, man, rough. And we're not even halfway through, I don't think.
Finish. Enjoying the lines, little Polish clicking soldier.
Wow, he saved himself right there. Like, even if only temporarily.
Right.
Oh, no.
Oh, shoot.
Do you know the saying now of life is still life? You are not a boy anymore. I'm saying a blessing for you.
He might only save the girl, though. You know, like, you don't know what he's thinking. Look at him just observing on his high horse. Think about the symbolism here. Oh, shoot, look. That girl has color, right? Or am I seeing things? I don't know. No,
yeah,
look,
it's red.
It's red as, yeah, it's red as blood.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, it almost got her. He's like fixated on the red. And so are we. Look at that.
He might save her?
That's such a powerful thing though. Like him watching on his high horse. It's very important.
And he might go after her, you know?
Look, she's trying to hide.
Oh, look, it just turned from red to gray.
Huh. So from his perspective, it's red. From our perspective...
Oh my gosh.
So innocent, right? Like she thinks it's a game even. Like she doesn't understand the full extent of what's happening.
Wow.
Inside of the piano. Inside of the... Oh, they think the coast is clear.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why the people are just waiting silently, you know?
Oh my gosh.
And all you hear are the guns. Gunshot. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Look at the piano playing. Oh, it's a German soldier. Look at that. Playing during everything.
I wish this not to open.
Look at this guy. Just tired as if he's like doing hard work, you know? Oh god.
Oh man.
Look at all the pots, right? So what happens, like that's my question, is what happens to his factories? All his workers were...
Well, money probably won't mean much to him now, right? Like he has to try to see things differently.
Yeah, there's no importance anymore.
Faber Dorothea!
Jawohl!
Rothstein Fahrer!
Jawohl!
Weinberger! Marcos!
And they have numbers now, too.
It's like prisoners, you know? Reduce them to just a number. Strip them of any identity, all their culture, erase their memory.
Where's this over? We are workers now.
Workers.
Yeah. It's like you can still see hope, you know? It's so interesting, the human spirit. It's hard to break. Even in these circumstances, they try to see the light. And the abuse of power, obviously. Look at that. Him and Schindler look alike. They have similar features.
Yeah, they do.
You know, and I think that that's on purpose, too. I don't think that's a coincidence. Oh, yeah. They're even desecrating graves of Jewish people. I just realized that. Isn't that crazy? They dug up dead Jews and burnt them to erase their memory.
Everybody's gone.
No, they're not gone. They're here.
They're mine!
And we're going to be making so much money that none of this is going to matter.
It's bad business.
Business, business, business.
Even saying mine, it's like possessiveness over.
Yeah, individualism. That's what it is. Peak individualism in the worst way possible. Cognac, I think is how they say it.
Thank you.
And there's a painting in the middle, right?
You've got things going on. Things are good. You don't want anybody. I can understand all that, you know. What you want is your own sub-camp.
What?
6,000 kilograms of electrified fences, ceramic insulators, 3 cubic meters of airspace per prison. I'm telling you, you want to shoot somebody. I've been through it, you know, I know.
You could make things easier for me. Be grateful.
Literally making a deal with the devil.
But if you think about it, right? Like if he's able to get workers, then they're safe.
Right, which is what we're seeing. Like they're migrating workers from the camps to the factories now, to his factory again, back. So he's saving some of them, but not all of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's probably looking for his accountant, wondering if he's still alive.
There's Stern.
See? So there's hope, you know, because he is capable of compassion.
I see my cut from the factory owners in this camp, leaving you to take care of my main account.
Look him walking around him.
Mm-hmm.
He wants his independence. I gave it to him. But independence costs money. This you understand. Don't forget who you are working for now.
Yeah, he made sure. Oh, look, that's still the guy, right? The guy who's playing both sides.
Yeah.
Make sure you stay. Delivery fast.
Look at this guy. He's just drowning himself in pleasure.
Stay with my friend. Don't let him leave.
Party, look at that.
Yeah.
Overlooking the camp. Wow. They don't want to even get close to him.
Dealings with our black market contacts listed as suppliers in the legitimate ledger are more complicated. What do you mean, forget it? You can't forget it. You can't
Gives me a
forget it.
headache.
Gives me a headache.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a headache for him?
Yeah, almost every week. Wednesdays usually. Yeah. These in your pocket.
He could get in trouble.
Herr Director, don't let things fall apart. I work too hard. Thanks for it. Good luck.
Thanks for, like, what is he thankful for? It's hard to be thankful, right? It's like, thank you for what? My freedom or my imprisonment? Like, you're not free. This isn't freedom. Look, he's heading towards the light.
Make me a hinge.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's timing him.
Skip the questions.
He's like timing to see who he's going to dispose.
But you've been working since, I think, what, about 6 this morning. Yet, such a small pile of hinges.
Got jammed.
Oh, Christ.
Check the angle lever, maybe it's bent.
Imagine the anxiety.
My heap of hinges was so unsatisfactory because the machines were being recalibrated this morning.
Wow, that gun jammed
I
too.
was put on to shoveling coal.
That's divine intervention. That's divine intervention. You can't fight it. You can't. It's like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, he got him for his factory. Oh.
You committed this crime.
No, sir.
But you know who, though?
Yes.
Who?
Him! Thank you again, Herr Director.
You're welcome again.
Oh, this is the same kid.
Yeah.
Oh, smart kid, huh? Smart kid. He saved all those people's lives by pinning the blame on the dead guy.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Smart kid.
Miss Elsa
I only
Kraus
need
here.
5
She wants
minutes.
to speak to the Herr Director. He won't see you.
Who is she?
I'm not sure. She looks familiar too, though.
I can't even take notes, honestly. It's just overwhelming. It's not a movie that you can really rationalize these things. It's just pure emotion. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still trying just to point out some things that...
Yeah. It's the best way to do it is during the reaction.
They say that no one dies here. They say your factory is a haven. They say you are good.
That's not good for his reputation among the Nazis.
Who says that?
See, he's like worried.
I've been living in Krakow and Fuß paper since the ghetto massacre. My parents are in Warsaw. I'm begging you.
Oh my God.
Please bring them here.
I don't do that. You've been misled. Cry, and I will have you arrested.
Yeah, he has to correct his PR because he's being portrayed as the savior.
He wants to kill everybody? Great. Bring everybody over? Is that what you think? His place is a haven, didn't you know? It's not a factory. For rabbis and orphans and people with no skills whatsoever.
Everybody has a skill.
Yeah.
Are you losing money?
No, I'm not losing money. That's not the point.
That's not the point.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous to me.
Yeah, it's his reputation.
A man who loves good food, good wine, the ladies, making money.
Killing.
He can't enjoy it.
He does enjoy it.
Goeth lined up everybody from the missing command's barracks. He shot the man to the left of Bievsky, the man to the right of him. He walked down the line shooting every other man with a pistol.
This guy's a psychopath.
Husband and wife.
Jacob and Hannah Perelman!
He has a heart after all. How is this lady not captured though?
Well, she used fake paper, she said.
Oh, right.
But her parents were in danger.
Right.
And she borrowed clothes and everything, so...
She's pretending to be German, right? I assume.
Probably, yeah.
She just wanted to save her parents. Oh, God. Imagine seeing your parents like that, dude. Jeez Louise, man. Crazy.
You don't have to report to me, Helen.
Oh, she's the girl that they picked out from the line.
To do housekeeping for the crazy guy.
He said the reason I beat you now is because you ask why I beat you.
No reason. No rhyme or reason.
He enjoys you so much, he won't even let you wear the star. He doesn't want anyone else to know it's a Jew he's enjoying.
Wow.
It's all right. It's not that kind of a kiss.
It's like a kiss of compassion. It's the first time she's felt that. Wow. It's like you kiss a child, you know, to like let them know that it's okay.
Power is when we have every justification to kill. And we don't.
Wow.
That's what the emperor said. A man stole something, he's brought him before the emperor, begs for mercy, pardons him. This worthless man, he lets him go.
He's trying to coerce him, you know? He's trying to play mind games on him.
Amon, that is power.
Huh. Wow. Schindler's such a brilliant man in terms of like human nature.
Ah!
sorry,
Do you know how much this saddle is worth? Do you know how much it costs?
The saddle versus his life, right? Human life costs nothing to them.
Stern, what the hell are you doing following me around?
He looks happy a little bit, like relieved. Just knowing, you know, it could have gone differently right there.
Yeah, much differently. Look at him on his high horse now. Horses, right? He has a white horse. And they even have a little park. Look at that. Right next to the park, it's happening.
She was smoking on the job.
He's gonna pardon her.
Tell her not to do it again.
Wow, it got to him. Damn. So he's trying to help everybody in that camp by convincing the head guy, you know, by changing him, essentially.
Yeah.
Go ahead, go on, leave. Leave, I pardon you.
I have a bad feeling.
He's gonna he's gonna just return to his old ways, I bet, because he's gonna realize that Schindler's manipulating him.
I pardon you.
Look at this guy, dude. And we watched American Psycho. This guy's the real global, worldwide, international psycho. Even the guards ran away. You saw?
Oh my gosh.
He's in love with her, you think? Probably, right? Most likely.
He's just using her, like, 'cause she, like, just has to submit to him, kind of.
Yeah. But I feel like there's a subplot being told here that he's experiencing love and he doesn't know, like, what to do about it. Like, he's confused inside. Because just like Schindler said, that he doesn't even make her wear the star.
Yeah, maybe.
Is this the face of a rat? Are these the eyes of a rat? Hath not a Jew eyes?
So they recreated that bar from the beginning, kind of, in his house upstairs. Because I thought they were at the same bar.
Yeah.
You're a Jewish bitch. You nearly talked me into it. Didn't you?
He blames her.
She didn't say a word. Oh my gosh.
On behalf of the workers, sir, I wish for you a happy birthday.
Thank you very much. What a lovely cake.
Look at everybody's face.
Just like appalled.
We have to go to the appendix. The list makers are here. There is going to be a selection.
Oh gosh.
Everyone who is alive.
Because people were probably dying from, like, not eating enough, from, you know, bunch of other things, sickness.
Just have anxiety. It's just a lot. Oh, it's to add, like, redness to the skin, you know? It's to, like, look healthy.
It's like makeup, too, yeah. That's why they put on the lips.
Look alive. They're not even doing an exam. They're just looking and then just deciding their fate.
If they're too skinny, probably, too.
This kind of reminds me of that scene from Shawshank Redemption when they play music and it's supposed to inspire hope. Here it's being used. Look at that. Oh no.
You didn't see him. They're hiding. I'm telling you, they're hiding. And Danka. She was a good place. She told her she took on.
There is no room for you here. Go away, quick.
Oh, this is the hardest movie I've ever had to watch, if I'm being honest.
Oh my gosh. That's
So-
literally a toilet.
So hard to watch.
Get out.
Ay.
Oh, another beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Ay. This.
How can anyone see this happening and just assume it's, you know, it's normal?
What was that?
Look at the water being wasted. That's on purpose. It's to, you know, it's to do it in front of them.
Bring the fire hoses.
Where's the fire?
I see what he's doing, though.
Yeah.
Every time the train stops, you open the doors, you give them water, yeah?
Jawohl.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be questioned because they're starting to get suspicious. Maybe, maybe not. Seems like he's visiting someone.
She was Jewish. She shouldn't have done it, but you didn't see this girl. They cast a spell on you, you know, the Jews. When you work closely with them, like I do, you see it.
So that's why he took off the band from that girl, too.
You're offering me a bribe?
No, please. It's a gratuity.
I did that.
Oh, wow. Wait, what? Oh, I thought it was, you know, him. He's over there in the picture in the back. He hasn't shown his face yet.
But this guy is like a commanding, I guess, like a high up.
Is that snow?
Mm-hmm. Is it?
It doesn't look like winter, but maybe.
It's not snow. It's ashes.
Ashes? Oh my God. Department D orders Goeth to exhume and incinerate the bodies of more than 10,000 Jews killed at Plazov ghetto massacre.
And the kids were like playing in it.
The party's over, Oskar. They're closing us down, sending everybody to Auschwitz.
Auschwitz.
Maybe 30, 40 days. That would be fun.
Oh my gosh.
I've been talking to Goeth.
I know the destination.
Someday this is all going to end. I was going to say we'll have a drink then.
I think I better have it now.
The first time he drinks. Don't cry. I mean, actually, that's wrong to say, guys. It's like you should cry. You should let go. Feeling is human. You know, art is healing. It serves its purpose.
Sorry.
You okay?
I put my microphone up, yeah. My nose all like stuffy now.
Look at that. Money.
What's a person worth?
No. What's one worth to you?
He already knows the answer. He knows that it's worth nothing. To the German.
Miller, Pfefferberg, Stegel, Powell, Stegel.
Doctor.
Oh, this might be his list. Schindler's List. He's, you know.
You're banging for each of these names.
If you were still working for me, I'd expect you to talk me out of it. It's costing me a fortune. Finish the page and leave one space at the bottom.
One space at the bottom for himself, probably, right?
Yeah.
He's like realizing what he's doing, like the work he's doing.
One hand of 21.
No.
If you win, I'll pay you 7,400 right marks.
No.
International, I'll make it 14,800.
No.
If I win, the girl goes on my list.
I can't wager Helen in a card game.
Why not?
I'm surprised she's still alive.
What I can do if I'm any sort of a man is the next most merciful thing.
Yeah, he'll have to. Because it's the most logical thing, even for himself.
Yeah. He can't sympathize. He can't be seen with the Jewish woman.
No, how
We make ice in the water. Come.
Only get another one.
Oh, look,
hometown.
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah. He brought all of them to his hometown.
I don't like. No, you don't. What do you like? I like caviar.
What if this train is going somewhere else?
One day on the fire. Oh, yes. One day.
What if the train is going to
No.
Auschwitz, babe? Oh, God.
No.
Auschwitz. Oh, man.
No.
And they were talking about soup, about, you know, like making food and... My question is that snow? Like, is that snow in Auschwitz? I don't think that's snow in Auschwitz.
Well, it was cold, like...
Yeah, but now, like, what's snow and what's not?
Where are the list makers? Where are the tables?
Yeah, see? It's snowing in Schindler's hometown, not here. Mother and daughter. Oh, look, it's the bedtime story. It's bath and disinfection. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, imagine the fear. Yeah. And who knows if it's the end, you know? Like, look, like, where are these people going? Look at the Germans laughing and smiling. Look, chambers. It's like false hope.
They say to fall against the fence is a kindness.
You okay?
Yeah, you okay?
Why do you think I can help you if I can't help IG Farm?
Allow me to express the reason.
And he's wearing a fur.
Mm-hmm. Because he wants to paint the image that...
I could have you arrested.
I'm protected by powerful friends. You should know that.
I do not say I'm accepting them. All I say is I'm not comfortable with them on the table.
Making a special exception. Bribery. Greed. Lust.
Hirsch Helen, Großchaya Sarah, Seelenfreund Estera.
But are they going? But why?
Their fingers polish the insides of shell metal casing. How else am I to polish the inside of a 45mm shell casing? You tell me.
Back on the train!
Can't save them all. There's no happy ending to any of this.
Yeah.
None. No happy ending.
They're probably seeing like their hair is all cut and stuff.
Yeah, and a few of them are missing because I saw on the list, like, they were crossed out. So a few of them are searching, but they can't find them.
Come on, boys. Go.
Is this a synagogue? I've never been inside of a synagogue. I think so. I believe so.
No doorman or maitre d' will ever mistake you again.
No, it is.
What if she is Jewish?
Itzhak.
Possibly, right?
This is Itzhak Stern, my accountant. Itzhak,
And that's why she said, like, she has to be referred to as Mrs. Schneider. I mean Schindler, sorry.
What day is this? Friday? This Friday, isn't it?
Is it?
What's the matter with you? You should be preparing for the Sabbath. Shouldn't you?
They're gonna give them his. Oh my God, that's crazy. He's gonna build them a church. He's gonna build a place of worship. He's gonna give them back faith in their culture. Getting full body chills. And I don't understand a word. For 7 months, it was fully operational. Schindler's List munitions was a model of non-production. During this same period, he spent millions to sustain his workers and bribe Reich officials. He spent millions and didn't produce a single thing that was operational.
We've written a letter trying to explain things in case you were captured.
Could have got more out. I could have got more. I don't know if I just... I could have got one more person. And I didn't.
It was intense. Really intense. This is the most intense thing I think I've put myself through. Look at the contrast.
Oh, that's them. I was like,
oh my God.
You have been liberated by the Soviet army.
We could use some food.
Isn't that a town over there?
Oh, wow. And I think, and I'm sorry again if I get it wrong, but I think it's like millions of them for sure. You know, like it's in the millions. He saved a little over 1,000. Yeah, this guy deserves this treatment. Honestly, he deserves
still
to.
Says Heil Hitler.
Yeah, he has no regrets. Look, just like when the gun jammed, he didn't.
Amon Goeth was arrested while a patient in a sanitarium at Battold. He was hanged in Krakow for his crimes.
He was
against
hung
humanity.
in the same place, like with his little house in the back. You saw? Oskar Schindler failed at his marriage and several businesses after the war. In 1958, he was declared a righteous person by the Council of the Yad of Moshe in Jerusalem and invited to plant a tree in the Avenue of the Righteous.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, look. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Look at that. Generations, man, generations. A little girl kissed at Schindler's birthday party. Oh, they're hand in hand with the actors that played them. I just picked up on that. It's not their family, it's the actors that played them. So this is the real person, and that's the actress in the movie. I finally understood it. See? Well, that's incredibly symbolic and profound. In memory of the more than 6 million Jews murdered. All right. Wow. That's all I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna end it there. Just wow. You know, I don't. Again, this is a movie that I barely took any notes, and it's not anything that you can really write or articulate or try to rationally review and rationally describe. Like, there isn't anything to be reviewed here. You know, I don't know if that makes sense to anyone watching. It's just something that you feel with your soul. It's like it like you can't put it into words and you can't articulate what you feel because it's just beyond everything. Like it's beyond humanity. It's beyond anything we're capable of.
All I have to say is like that's me fighting back tears, so I can't even imagine. Like if there was no camera and stuff, like I would have lost it. Like,
no, I would have been sobbing. Like
yeah.
you guys have never seen me sob, and that was the first time that I came close to. Like I thought multiple times, I'm gonna pause the movie, and I'm just gonna turn off the camera because I have to let this out. You know, I just have to let it go. And but I'll just get to the things that I did write down. I'll try to just be a little bit objective for people who are actually interested in like what.
But I do want to comment first on like just like the feeling of this movie. Like at least for me, it's just like on it. Truly, I've never seen anything like this that just felt so raw. Yeah. Because it's so real. That it's just tough.
Yeah.
Like I can't even, like I was taking notes, obviously, like I wanted to have something to say like at the end in terms of like things that I just like things that stood out to me, maybe things that like angered me, things that,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to address, but sorry.
Oh, don't apologize. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, this movie, it's like you feel so, it's like it's literally the definition of bittersweet, if that makes sense. It's like you feel so like it's so beautiful that these people were saved. The 1,100 of them that were saved, but then it's so like just depressing. It's just heartbreaking, like thinking about how that's not even like, it's not even a fraction of people who were shot and gassed and burnt.
Yeah. Kids, women, innocent people,
children, like all the part that like really started making me cry was the part where the kids are just like waving on the backs of those trucks because they have no idea. And even just that too, it's like the innocence of a child, they're still playing, they're playing in ashes. They have no idea that that's ashes or where it's coming from. They're just playing because they're so innocent. And then you question, like, it really is like a monster. It's a monster. Like, I know we've talked about how like there's a monster within all of us, but that's just like for you to let that, for you to be that, for you to embody that, like that's a monster to have done something like that. Old people, like just everyone, like I'm not even trying to say young and old, like just everyone, just these sad, the looks on their faces, just how like hopeless they felt, how hopeful they initially felt, like they thought that they were going to be working and it was just like, oh, it's just tough, it's laborious work, and then come to find out, that there was no hope, like there was no like glimmer of hope at all for a lot of people.
Right.
Oh, it's so crazy just like seeing that, it's like the hope that's like lost. And then in some instances it was like found again, like for the women who were accidentally, and not even accidentally, like we know it wasn't accidentally, that were routed to Auschwitz, and you start thinking like, we thought that they were in a chamber and that they were going to be next, and think about and how they felt. It's like from one second to the next, they were hopeful, thinking they were gonna get bread and soup, even the way they were talking like normal things. It's like we take advantage of these things on a day-to-day life. Like we're picky, we're you know,
We're spoiled.
we don't appreciate enough, and then meanwhile these people were just happy to finally get some bread and soup. These people were happy to get drops of water that were being shot through a hose, like through a window, like trying to catch it in their mouths. Drinking it from an icicle. It's like, when you think about that, it makes you rethink yourself. And I think that that's like what makes movies like this powerful. It's like you have to reflect. Like you don't just reflect on the events that happened, like with World War II, with the Holocaust, but you reflect on what your current, your current decisions, your current gratitude towards life.
And movies like this are very necessary, because it's so easy for us to just forget what has happened and the capacity for malevolence that every human being right now watching, both of us have a capacity for malevolence. Everybody does. But you also have the capacity for good. And to see malevolence realized almost to its full potential, and in a lot of cases for a lot of these men, it was absolutely to the fullest potential. I only say almost because, again, if they had won this war, then the world would have been way different. So I don't think that we quite experienced the full capacity, but I'm sure that, for example, with like Genghis Khan, who was the biggest murderer of history, like he killed hundreds of millions, if I'm not mistaken. Like he killed like crazy amounts. And so we've experienced this, and it seems to come in cycles, which is like super scary to think about. It comes in cycles, like you just allow it, and it's just by kind of turning a blind eye. It's just by accepting these orders, you kind of enable the system and you enable this behavior. And the whole movie was just, to me, showing as a form of as an exercise of reflection, like you're watching these scenes and you're seeing these people make these choices, these atrocious choices. And then it's literally forcing you to have a conversation with yourself. And you have to watch this type of movie, like these types of movies, honestly, true to what you would actually do in those scenarios, and really try to put yourself in the shoes of both parties and try to understand the psychology. And by doing so, you really realize a lot about yourself, and not just about yourself, but about the world. And to see that greed and this pursuit for wealth and pleasure and just power, superiority over another human to make yourself feel bigger, to place yourself on the metaphorical high horse, which in this case we had, not metaphorical, well also, but the proverbial high horse, which we've seen 2 times with 2 characters in this. It's, it's that disconnect. It's just very, very cold. It's just cold. Like there's no humanity behind the eyes of the Goeth,
yeah.
Goeth character. There's no humanity behind his eyes. Those German soldiers, these are all people that here's the crazy debate, right? Is how many of these German soldiers would have been exempt from committing these crimes if it had not been for strong propaganda? It's like how many of them would have, in their own personal choice, basing off of what they know about Jewish people, about what they know about Judaism, about what they know about their culture, how many of them would have gone through to that extent to aimlessly and carelessly just go into a Jewish predominant town and just start, just offing innocent people? I don't think many of them would. I think that a lot of them would, which is scary to think. I think that a few of them would, but I don't know. We'll never know. But it's just propaganda is just a very powerful and very dangerous thing. And that's why I think that even today, to a certain extent, I think we're still experiencing, obviously, the ripple effect of this one event that is comparative to our time and to our age and the age of everybody watching this is super recent, too recent even. Like, it's uncomfortably recent. It's not like something that you learn in history of the Romans and, you know, thousands of years ago. They would do these things and during the medieval ages and, wow, atrocious acts. This is like recent. This is like 1 or 2 people removed from this. And I was going to say something with that. Oh, crap. I lost my train of thought. Completely lost it. What was I saying? I was saying about the
You were saying that
about okay, yeah. Sorry guys, I just had a brain fart. It's just a lot to take in. But I think that we're still experiencing the consequences of this ripple effect, and that being this widespread censorship even on platforms like this one. It's like we don't know how YouTube is going to react to certain words or like things that you say. A lot of people are getting deplatformed, you know, people are losing their privilege to speak on these platforms and the opportunity. And I feel like a lot of that is a result of this monster who created this like heavy message that motivated and mobilized thousands, if millions of soldiers to commit these atrocious things, you know, to act out this hatred and this, like, I don't know, but I think that that's what we're experiencing, and that's why people complain a lot, and we've been victims of this on like TikTok, for example. Like, we'll post a video and if it's like it'll go against community guidelines because we say a certain word that's a bad word. But I feel like everything nowadays is kind of made in a way not necessarily to restrict our liberty, and maybe that plays a role and you can add a conspiracy twist to it. But if you account for the capacity of evil, it's basically to avoid that another one of these beings comes to rise and rises to power and starts garnering an audience and starts, you know, like injecting ideology, injecting this like virus, which is the fact of someone being ideologically possessed is a person that's possessed by that ideology. It's like you lose any sense of self, like you become indoctrinated. And I don't know, it's just crazy because that's really what we're seeing is the results and the aftermath of one man's ideology and one man's feeling of hatred and disgust towards another group of people. And then you see just a ripple effect. And obviously he took advantage of the sentiment after the First World War. Germany was, you know, down in the slumps, and then this one guy presented himself as the savior. And I'm not even going to say his name, but you guys know who he is. Obviously, like the main guy in all of this. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because like while this was happening, I think around the same time like during the same time, there was the bombings in
Pearl Harbor,
in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh, it was around the same time, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Because it was World War II.
Yeah.
And that's like obviously not like the same in terms of, you know, how many people and, you know, the whole thing with the Holocaust, but even that there were like over 200,000 lives lost, like including the long term, like the effects of it. And I actually met 2 survivors,
right,
at like it was like at Rutgers, and they brought them in and they talked. And it's just when you hear these things and they put pictures all around the auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
And you just saw, and it was very similar to this, and that's why it just like was so crazy to me. It's like you see this thing that's so real, but at the same time, it's like you almost don't want to believe it,
It's
even
so
though
foreign.
even though it happened. It's like it happened.
It's so alien. It's like just like when that lady was telling the bedtime story about Auschwitz, all of the women are like, wait, but that doesn't sound real. It's like it makes no sense, because it makes no sense. There's no rhyme or reason. That's what the Goeth character symbolized to us. Even during his last moments when he was hung, he still was ideologically possessed. He was possessed by this idea.
Yeah. Instead of like just begging for forgiveness. And it's interesting, right? Because Schindler was telling him, it's like, they shouldn't be punished for their crimes. Let them beg for forgiveness, and then you pardon them, right? He, in the end, like, that's what he could have done. He could have been regretful for what he did.
And begged.
He could have begged for forgiveness, and even if he died, at least, but that just goes to show, it's like, sure, there's like propaganda, but I also think it's like, I think that if you have any, I don't even know, it's like any just inner voice, you would be more, you would be a Schindler. You wouldn't be one of these, right? Yeah. It's like,
You know what I'm like, what's interesting to me, and maybe not too many people can like agree or like follow, because obviously like we focus, and I want to make that clear. It's like, obviously we focus on the atrocious acts, but I try to look at people, if their environment, if they were placed in a different environment, a better one, right? So even the Goeth character, I'm just going to call him Goeth, because that's how it's spelled. But him, right? He had moments where his mask and his facade, or his mask of ideology, began cracking. And then what flowed out of those cracks was love, or at least some semblance of what love could be. So he showed the potential for love. He showed the yin and yang, chaos and order, chaos and and love, essentially, for him. And I found that very interesting, because it's not the director trying to force us to sympathize with this monster. Like, he doesn't want to do that, because then by result and by default, the director has an agenda of making a movie where you sympathize with these characters. But that's not what he did, and it's brilliant the way he did it, is that he wanted to just show us, like, yeah, these people also have the capacity for good. It's just that they just aren't themselves. Like, they don't operate as themselves. Like, they're brainwashed. Like, that's the best word to say it. And that's not excusing anybody, because just like you said, like you can have those moments of clear consciousness, which is what he had. He had fragments and moments, and it was always when it involved love. And so he felt love, but then he would catch himself almost as if he wasn't the person driving his vessel, his like meat body. It wasn't him. And so whenever he got a hold of the wheel, and he knocked out the ideologically possessed person that was driving, he knocked them out cold for a few minutes, just enough time for him to kind of, move in love, kind of like act in love. Like he was, falling in love with that person. But then all he had was just a few minutes before the unconscious ideology and the toxic and just, dangerous idea would wake up and then take command again.
Yeah.
And that's what happened when Schindler told him about the whole pardon thing. It's like he acted in it, and he's like, okay, yeah. So that also showed brilliantly that these men are are highly susceptible to influence.
Something I wanted to point out, right, is that, like, we can sit here and say that, like, I'm sure there will be some people who will say that, Schindler kind of was a part of it. It's like
for sure he was.
He let things like pass, and he kind of was still in his own world, indulging and whatever, not really like showing like real empathy. But like, after seeing the whole movie, which I don't know the real scenario, the real world case of the real Schindler, but I can say that it's like, think about this. there's no way to blatantly help all of them without him getting killed and then helping no one. So it's like everything about like the factory, and making money for myself. The reason he was so upset that Stern brought the guy without an arm is because he probably felt what he felt at the end. It's like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to save these people? I can't save all these people. And he probably felt that like guilt already in the beginning, like brewing. It's like, I don't think that even in the beginning, I think that he was already, it was just like, it became more potent, obviously. But I think that even in the beginning, there was a plan for that. Like, sure, it was about money, but I do think that there was also a reason, like he could have had a German accountant, but he chose Stern, a Jewish man, to help him. And there's a reason for that too. It's like, and he kept chasing after him. So even that shows like, and that was in the beginning when he was all about his business, right? But he kept chasing Stern every time he was afraid that he had lost him. He followed him to the car, the train cart that he was in. He followed him to the camp that he ended up in, And so it just shows like he already had that empathy. He already had a plan. And he picked Stern because Stern could be used as the vessel for helping him save the Jewish people. It's like help him, kind of like put out names, like kind of, do the paperwork for them, and then he was responsible for that in the beginning where he was like, oh no, they're an essential worker and stuff. Anyways, to my point, it's just like I think that it's hard to say like, oh, he could have done more. And I think that that's what's shown at the end too. It's like, he could have done more, but he did enough. He did more than enough because he saved these people and he could have saved zero. And that's why that quote, it just broke.
Oh yeah, if you save one man, then you
save the world
entire.
entire. It's just so crazy. And I think that that's like super important for us to apply to our life. It's like you should never live solely for yourself. And if you have we all have the power, so it's not even about if. It's just like when you have the power to lend a hand, be that person.
Be that.
Don't be the person that lets it slide. Don't be the person that feeds into it. Just be the person that lends a hand.
Do what you can. And then also, just like when you are on an airplane and they say that you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can help the other person. I was going to play devil's advocate a little bit, but I do agree. But I was just going to say that in the beginning of the film, I feel like Schindler presents himself as his core self and who he's always been. Like war is a relatively new thing in his lifetime. Maybe he hasn't really experienced it. I don't know how old he is necessarily. He's like 40 maybe. But he presented himself to me as a person who was completely selfishly out for personal gain. It's like at the beginning. And then I think that it was up until the moment when he saw the girl in the red jacket.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That he had a shift in consciousness. And what's beautiful too is that the movie doesn't like jam this truth down your throat because it wants you to kind of connect everything for yourself. But then when at the end he was composing, right, he was writing his list, he was speaking the names, that showed that he had a personal connection with each person. And what happens is at the beginning of the film, Jews were just like animals, like they were viewed as animals and they were treated as a statistic, just a statistic. They were just numbers. Like how many are here? 1,000, 2,000. Okay, we have another shipment of 500 or 5,000. They were just numbers. They weren't people. But then it's over time when he began really realizing and things started clicking with him that these people have names. And then towards the end when he bribed that other officer, which I think he deliberately sent the women to Auschwitz because he understood that Schindler was a businessman. He had the means. He was already bribing other officials. Word gets out. Officials say like, yes, this Schindler is a good man, easy man, gives him lots of money. It's like, so that officer, it's in his best interest to just make a mistake with the paperwork and then force Schindler to bribe him. And so, but my point is, the death of the girl in the red jacket, the red jacket girl symbolizes pure innocence. It symbolizes the pure benevolence of the human soul. And when he saw that was also murdered, that's when it really hit him. Like up until that point, like when he saw her kind of wandering and kind of like skipping through the street as people were being killed in front of her, and she didn't understand anything. Like she thinks that everybody's playing dead, everybody's just playing a game. But it's like, so to me, it was like a gradual journey that we kind of saw a little bit of how Schindler kind of got to where he got towards the end, where he, made it his mission to, like screw money, screw personal gain. I don't care how much it takes. I'll sell this car. I wish I had sold this car. It's like, because then you have a spiritual experience, essentially, is what he had.
Yeah.
Is when you realize that none of the material matters.
And what's interesting about the girl in the red jacket is that I think that any time that we saw color, it was like a glimmer of hope. So it's like even that little girl, it's like you're hopeful that, like, I don't know, innocence too, right? But the reason I'm saying that is like it's just the pure essence of just good is my point. It's like not even just hope. It's just the pure essence of good. But I'm saying hope because when she goes to hide under the bed, that color disappears.
Yeah.
So it shows, right? It's like all that's locked in is fear, and that's what we see all throughout the movie. It's all of the evil. It's all of the fear. It's all of the parts of the movie where there's no music playing, and you just focus on like this like grave.
Yeah, you can cut the tension in the room with a knife.
Yeah.
It's so thick.
But I think that at the end, just like you said, when he sees her again, but she's dead this time, it's exactly that. It's that, but the hope is still there. Her jacket is still red, and so he takes that into account. It's like he probably thinks like, wow, like an innocent life was lost, but that clicks something in his brain, just like you said, where it's like that not all of these innocent lives have to be lost, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's pretty, but
yeah.
I'm gonna read some of these, but you should go first.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, it'll be quick, mine.
But unless you have more to say, you should talk more, just like off of feeling and stuff.
Yeah. So that's actually my first note was statistic versus assigning a name to them. I think that's one of the main things, it's like the assigning names. Like that's why prison systems nowadays, like they'll refer to you by your number, by your jail cell number instead of your name. Because you have to look, I don't care what religion you follow, but if you have any sense of a higher power, a grand architect, a creative force that's beyond all of us. Because if you look at nature, like all you have to really do is just look at nature and you'll realize the grand architect's signature. Because a lot of things are just designed in a way that you can't explain it. Like science tries to, but you really can't explain it. So if you start from that point and you at least acknowledge the possibility that there is a greater creative force, you start understanding that, similar to that quote, that by saving one man, you save the whole world entire, right? That, to me, came off as, like, we are all one. Like we, as corny as that is to say, and as hippie as it is to say, as cheesy, whatever you want to say, but we are all one. So we are all kind of just the same, but different. But still, like, what's more important is that we're more the same than we are different.
Yeah.
And so the essence, the soul, whatever you want to call it, whatever moves you, whatever, your consciousness, the best way to destroy it is by inflicting pain on it and by completely dissociating it and by stripping it of any identity and any humanity, right? But then even in stripping the identity, they think that they'll get straight to the humanity as well, and they'll cast out two birds with one stone. But what we witnessed was there were moments when in the prison camps, people were getting married, people were telling stories. When people got picked to work at his factory, they would celebrate amongst themselves, enjoy. It's like, we're going to make it. We're going to, So that's the humanity. Like, the humanity can't ever escape people, for better or for worse. And when we saw Goeth towards the end and getting his sentence, which I think was well-deserved, obviously, I still think that he should have, and this is me just like out of anger, I suppose, was that he should have like suffered more and like lived long enough to like really just go through psychological torment, like something along those lines that would maybe just like teach him or give him a little glimpse of what he inflicted on other people. And I just say that because I'm for karmic retribution. I'm for balance, yin and yang. I'm for, like what you give is what you get.
I'm so on the fence about it all the time because I don't think that I'm someone who's in favor of like any death sentence, but I do think that people, there is a punishment, there are consequences to your decisions.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but I think that like just where I stand is that it's nobody's choice to take another man's life.
Nobody. And
obviously there are people who will go against that and they'll do it anyways. But if you have the choice, if you have any, just morality, then they will be spared. And I think that that's what we see in Batman. It's like he doesn't kill even the most wicked of villains. And that's what we see with Schindler. It's like, he says pardon them. It's like don't kill them. No. And then even when he says like, oh, if they're not doing their job and whatever, then there's justice. But even the way he worded it, it's like even then there's still like a possibility that they walk freely. It's like you don't punish them for something silly.
Right.
But yeah, it's like these people like that's what I think is the just way. It's like nobody chooses whose life gets ended.
Yeah. Nobody has that right to take a life, I don't think.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think that maybe, and this might be a stretch and I'll be the first to admit, but I think that maybe that's what Steven Spielberg was trying to show with his execution towards the end, is that the allies, right, which are the good guys, quote unquote, in this war, the side that ended the war did the same atrocious acts or continued with the barbaric treatment, which is hanging, which is taking life. And maybe there's a criticism there, like hidden deep inside of that like scene where Steven Spielberg is saying that real power is forgiveness. So if they had maybe like spared his life, but then made him learn this lesson, then it would have been like a true justice. But then here you have the winners of this war still taking lives.
And also like they're ending their lives in that ideology still, because he says like Hail Hitler.
Yeah, no remorse. So
my point is like you're terminating it right where they were mentally. It's like,
yeah, you're in a way, like twisted way, but this is definitely how they thought, and I'll bet everything on it, is that in a twisted way, that was victory. Like they received mercy, and in their head, like during, like while they're about to be executed, they probably think in their heads like stupid people. They are they do not know that I am victorious because they have not broke me. Like it could have been something like twisted like that.
Or they're probably thinking, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Or they're probably thinking like, proud of themselves, just like
sticking it through until the end.
Just like, and that's why they say hail, whatever. It's like because they stuck through, just like you said. They, you know, stayed true to the cause, to the
loyal.
Right, so loyal, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we stayed loyal to our commanding officer and our, you know, leader and whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're just proud of that. But I don't think that I don't think that that's how that should have ended. Like their lives shouldn't have ended there. But again, like obviously, no one is to decide other than how. Like I think everything that happens for a greater reason, even if it's inexplicable.
I'm of the belief of, well, I don't know if I'm of the belief because I'm just like spitballing here, and I know it's like it's complicated to spitball, you know, like because it's a serious topic. But what if the families of the victims got the chance to decide, or anyone who survived? Like what if the Jewish people after the war got the chance and the opportunity to make those decisions about these officers, and then they get to decide what is done to them, not like freestyle torture type of thing. It's like, yeah, like we're gonna do this to him, okay, we get free liberty to do whatever. No, it's just like give them options and like see what would feel just for them, you know, like have him experience a lot of what they've experienced, have them kind of suffer. Like he has to suffer, he has to come to an understanding, because then it's not just execution to get rid of a problem, to get rid of a broken individual, because there will be plenty more to come, and there have been since. But it's more of a human mission to help the soul. You know, again, like you don't have to be religious, but you have to understand that we're here to learn lessons, you know? And so by just pardoning this like monster of a human being, or at least this human being in his most monstrous form, you kind of do a disservice to the universe, you know, because there goes one more soul that did atrocious things and just got to exit without learning. And so I believe in that. It's like, I think that things have to return to a natural balance, and I think that life itself aspires always to return to that state of balance. And yeah, just like real quick, right? One thing that I really loved, well, again, it's tricky to say these words, like really love, like what does that mean? Like I thought was powerful is what I thought that Steven Spielberg did, was that he used documentary styled cameras. So the camera work made it so that we felt, or at least I felt, like I was witnessing the Holocaust. Like that's how I felt. And that's so incredibly powerful when you're a filmmaker, when you're a director, when you're someone who creates art, for you to make people feel as if they're immersed in your art, as if they have no choice but to feel everything that every character felt, and to experience, even if only a fraction of what they've experienced. He did that perfectly. And he did that by like mixing also, like for example, Schindler has deliberate and stylized camera. At the beginning, when Schindler appears, he first appears as this like mysterious man, you know, this man in the shadows. Like, who is this man? The Nazi generals ask the waiter, and they ask like, who is that? Who is that? Like, that's what we're thinking as like audience members. But every shot of his, like when he's like observing with his like cigarette, and it's so beautifully lit, you know, it's like a stylized camera. And the thing with stylized camera shots and scenes is that the camera becomes a character. The camera is also a character that has to be accounted for along with the actual actors and the characters we see. In this case, the camera is merely documenting. Like, you don't feel like there's any agenda other than get the shot of this atrocious act that has happened in our history as a species. And so it's just purely, and that's where the comment that you made about this like being so raw, you know, like it's so raw, it's because of that. It's because this camera is just, you know, it's a documentary styled camera, which I think that if this was done in like a stylistic way, where you have like certain shot types and certain technicalities and certain, you know, whatever, it wouldn't have had this impact. Like, you need that feeling of like a handheld camera of like a reporter, an invisible reporter that just time traveled and is in that moment and doing all this work. And that's what it felt like to me. Yeah, so the stylized camera, the use of smoke, I feel like is very important because it shows the candle at the beginning, and the beginning was the only moment in the film, aside from the girl in the red jacket and the end, where we had color. They lit the candle before they started their prayer and their session, and then the light went out right after, and then after that begins the whole movie. So I think that was important. I forgot what I was going to say with that. I'm sorry, guys. Red girl embodies innocence and humanity. Schindler on his high horse, already mentioned that. All art and life aspires to music. That's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. It's like, if you think about it, everything in life, and you'll have to give like real thought to this, because I can't spend like an hour trying to explain what I mean, but everything in life and all great art aspires towards music. It's like everything wants to become music, because music, like we have music of the spheres, you know, our universe communicates in two ways. It communicates in music, sound, and in mathematics, right? So everything kind of aspires towards either one or the other. And I feel like all art and most of life aspires towards music. And I feel like that's why they played beautiful music during these atrocious scenes, these horrific scenes of just people running butt naked, being humiliated in front of their people, being stripped like toddlers, like newborn child, newborn children just running, directionless, confused, almost as if stuck in this purgatory that is just in flames, like up in flames, like every second. Oh yeah, that scene, right? Speaking of music, that scene when they were clearing out a building, you would just hear gunshots, and then one German soldier decided to play the piano. And then two soldiers stopped, and they got distracted by an intellectual argument about, is it Mozart or Bach? No, it's Mozart. It's not Bach. It's like, what? It's like, it's so, like the dissociation, the disconnect, the lack of humanity is so profound that scene to me, like, I can't even explain it because I have to rewatch it. I have to look at it. I have to feel it again. I have to try to understand. But there's something there where it's the individualism, extreme individualism, meshed with extreme intellectualism of the time, and still today. It's like this just zombifies people and just makes people look at life so objectively and so coldly. It's like, oh yes, this wine is aged 45 years. Oh yes, this thing. It's like, who cares? These are just like little specifics, it's just little things. It's material. But when you think about a consciousness of other humans and their souls, and you're like, no, it's no value for me. Just kill. It's like, it's wild.
Yeah.
And then I'm almost done. Distortion of the notion of power happened during Schindler and Goeth's conversation, where he talked about the whole pardon thing. I found that interesting. It's like we all have our own kind of ideation and our own idea of power and what power is and what power consists of. And that just showed that people can have such a different understanding of power, and yet nobody is always is truly right.
Yeah.
It's
all subjective.
Yeah, because power, love, and the meaning of life are like three things that no one really understands fully. And the human spirit is hopeful, / wedding. Yeah, I kind of touched on that, on how they were having a wedding. I'm just trying to think if there's any last thing, because I think I'll just be done. Just really trying to think again. It's like it's hard for you to gather thoughts after that. It's very hard. But yeah, I think I'm done. And if it pops up, then I'll,
maybe if you think of anything though, then just butt in. Yeah, I wrote about the flame too, and I wrote down like the flame went out, and the candle wax was melted up, like it just was gone. And then at the end you see these long candles, and we're able to see the color of the flame. But these long candles, just to show, you know, it's like
it's a new
it
phase
won't go
now.
out anytime soon. So it's like, you know, and that's when they were kind of having their Sabbath, right? And they were singing and
and it could also be seen as like a little flame, you know, like igniting the flame again.
Yeah.
Preserving the flame.
I wrote down that there's a lot of the music was played on a violin, which is considered like a very sad instrument. It's like very melancholic, you know, like usually it's songs that, you know, kind of like
Like upbeat, you know, like jazz, like things like that.
No, I was saying sad. Violin. Violin just has like this melancholic, like kind of essence to it, you know? It's
I
just
thought
very...
that you were saying that usually people celebrate to other forms of music, because the violin to me was always present during the German parties.
Yeah, well, yes, but I think my point is that it's just interesting because I think, like, I just think of it as a sad instrument.
Yeah.
So even though it was playing during the parties, like you're kind of already knowing what to expect of like what's going to happen, and it's kind of just like making you, you know, feel it already. I don't know. I found it interesting how like the Nazi party and the people that were, you know, associated with the Nazis were just like gorging and dancing and eating and having a good time. And we saw that like in a bunch of different scenarios. And then just like you were saying, it was like overlooking the camp at one point even. And then
contrasts.
Yeah. And so I think that that's just like I just can't envision how someone can do that and not have any like conscious of just what they're doing, like any or conscience rather of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then it's like interesting, right? Because music was bringing the Nazis together in these parties, but with the women singing and the instruments and the trumpets and the whatever, but it was also bringing the Jewish people together where they were singing. So when the kids were in a line and the music was playing, but the kids were singing their own song, a song that they know that's probably of their culture, of
that's
their,
profound.
you know, and they weren't singing along to the song that was playing. They were singing their own song, but they were singing in unison, and they were, you know, kind of all together. And so I think that that's interesting. It's like what you said. It's like life kind of imitates the art of song and music and dance. And I think that the same is said, like there are stories of like African slaves who also would do the same. They would sing in the fields. It's like it's something that just connects you through, like soul connection.
It is all life aspires to music.
Yeah. It's interesting because Stern, I think that's it. Is that his name? Stern. When he first was like met Schindler, he was sitting up straight, and Schindler went and just had his feet like up on the table, and he was like very nonchalant. Stern constantly refused to drink, which just goes to show where his priorities were laying. It's like he has no time to indulge. Like there's no part of him that wants to indulge in something wilts whatever's happening, like everything that's happening kind of.
I saw it as like he wanted to make a conscious effort into staying sober during these moments because he wants to remember it.
Yes.
You know, because people drink to forget, which is a great juxtaposition would be Stern and Goeth. Goeth was always drunk, was always just submerging himself in pleasure seeking. He was always, you know, kind of just running away from whatever haunts him, because I'm sure a lot haunts him. He takes out lives without rhyme or reason. And so I think that's a great point, because Stern wanted to remain sober.
Yeah.
And the only time he drank was when he thought that he would die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
when Schindler was talking about why he's doing what he's doing, and well, he was talking to his like wife, I guess, and he was saying that, basically hinting that he was outperforming his father by saying that he has more workers and he has a bigger business. And I think that I'm interested to know what Schindler's personal story is for what made him so so
sympathetic.
No, what I was gonna say is like desiring like
Ambitious.
success so much. Yeah, it's like just ambitious for whatever reason. It's like even the way he was talking, he was like, "Oh, I came from nothing and now I have this business, and how did I do it? Because of the war." So he's exploiting the needs for a war, and the tins and cans we now know were being used obviously to probably feed the Jewish people like slop or whatever, you know, like not even proper food, like just stews of whatever they put in there. And I know that from like the books that I read, because that's what they would eat, and it was lucky if they got a piece of bread, you know. And so even bread was like something that was
a rare commodity.
Right. It was like cherished.
And I would say on that it's just it doesn't help that wars have proven to be very profitable, and they have proven to be wealth generators for certain individuals who take advantage of it. So if you look at the Rockefeller family, the Rothschilds, they were all like, in moments of war is when they would exponentially multiply their wealth and their abundance, their already accumulated abundance of like things and material things and money. And so it doesn't help that these examples have been set in the past, and then you have businessmen like him who are naturally ambitious with war or without, and then all he's thinking is, how do I 10x and how do I establish a legacy? But then the legacy that was everlasting and that will last forever is the legacy of who you help. It's the impact that you have on other people's lives. Like that's the most valuable currency for me, is the impact. And so even with these videos that we do, I'm not saying that it's anything like groundbreaking in terms of helping people, but if it helps one person like sit more with an idea or see things differently, or maybe it's something that you say that like helps them, or it's like an insight, whatever it is, like if it helps one person, then that's all that matters, you know. Like at the beginning, we talked about the idea of numbers, you know, of views, of like how many subscribers are we at. It's like it's the same thing. It's the same thing, except people do that with money. People do that with business. People do, you know, it's always like a focus on the wrong things. And so what I've told you is that all I want to do is just sit down and just focus on creating the best content that we can create. It's like create the best videos, give the best of ourselves, give the most of ourselves in everything. Like don't hold back. And that's why I always tell you, like, don't apologize for crying. Like, we shouldn't apologize. You know?
And what's interesting is like I haven't gotten to comments on YouTube, just because it's almost impossible at this point. There's just so many.
It's hard.
But I have read them, and there are like a few that I did like respond to, and it's just interesting because even us like showing emotion on camera, it brings other people to kind
feel
of
okay
just
about it too. It's
kind
like,
of just showing their emotion, and there are people who have shared stories, and I think that that's just like
that's how it starts.
What I was gonna say is those people, like if you're one of those people who, you know, opened up about something in our comments, like I commend you so much, and I've said it to whoever I commented to. It's like I think that that's just very like it's very
virtuous,
inspiring. It's it's just like it makes me feel just, you know, connected. It's like it just makes me feel fulfilled in why we sit here and why we do these things. It's like I can't believe a stranger would talk about such personal and touching things, but they do, and we do that on camera too, even without realizing. It's like a lot of the times we're touching on things like in the Taken video, I like mentioned, you know, something happening to me, but I didn't really like give any details, and I've never ever publicly put that out there. And then even with like you know, talking about your mom's accident, me talking about my brother's accidents. Like, these are not things that we talk about to people close to us.
Yeah, we don't. But
we don't.
We feel comfortable and we feel like it's
and
right.
we do it here, and
it's right.
And so it's like
the right thing.
when people reciprocate that to us, to like people we've never met, it's like that's just like, it's crazy. It's wicked. It's like in the best way possible. It's just like,
it's scary. It's like scary, but in the best way possible, because with that comes this responsibility of not only making sure that with every video we film that we're always true to ourselves and true to our word and true to who we are, but also that we're true to the people watching, you know? And I feel like, for example, when people do share and people do, you know, comment and they describe these personal things that have happened to them, which are similar to the things that we share. It's like the purpose in life is to connect.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally to establish a connection, even if it's virtual, even if you guys are in a different country, even if you guys are thousands of miles away, it doesn't matter. It's like we use a catalyst, which are movies. We experience these films, these works of art, and they themselves are the catalyst for us. And then we kind of like remove our barriers, remove our shields, remove the ego, remove the men don't cry, oh, stop being a pussy or whatever. We remove all that because of this catalyst. And then by us doing that, it becomes like a domino effect. And then it opens the door. It's an open invitation for you watching to share. It's like, share. You know, it's like so many YouTubers, so many celebrities, so many influencers are so plastic, are so, you know, just wary of the idea even of just being vulnerable. Why? Because it takes courage. Vulnerability is courage. Vulnerability is power. That to me is my definition of power. Just like I said before, everybody has their own definition. Power to me comes from vulnerability. It comes from relatability. It comes from your ability to garner the respect, to garner the love of other fellow humans. Like, that's power. So if you were to ask me who's the most powerful person, was it Genghis Khan or was it Mahatma Gandhi? Was it Genghis Khan or was it any other spiritual leader, any other person that teaches you the way of the path and teaches you the path towards enlightenment and not the path towards accumulation of things? It's like you have all these gurus and you have all these celebrities nowadays who turn on the camera and they film themselves in front of their expensive cars and their yachts and their things, and they try to sell you on their authority in being able to kind of help you achieve those certain things. But many few teach you about the path, which is much simpler, ironically, towards enlightenment, towards fulfillment, towards true peace, which is just happens to be, and I'm only oversharing, I guess, because it's something that I've been realizing myself, and I've been embarking on my own spiritual journey, my own spiritual awakening. And if you were to tell myself like 2-3 years ago who I am now and like what I value now, I would have smirked, I would have laughed, I would have said, oh, that's some bullshit, because I used to be agnostic, I used to be vaguely spiritual, vaguely believing in anything other than myself. And then I just had this spiritual experience recently that just flipped something in my head, and now I truly believe that that's the only path, is through your voice, using your voice, because you right now watching, anybody can take your phone, create an account on social media, use these toxic platforms for good, and try to really just connect and help as many people as you can by just being vulnerable. Just be yourself, as corny as it is to say, but do it for the right reasons, not for clicks or views, and do it for something bigger, broader. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Make a few $1,000s, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, whatever you do. It's all gone.
Yeah.
You know, like it's here today, gone tomorrow.
It's interesting that you said that, like it's here today and gone tomorrow, because I think that that's like, I think that what we put our, what things that we put importance on is very important. And I think that people who put importance on money and put importance on the like material things. Like I think that that's so far from the way. And something that stood out to me that a woman in the movie said was that an hour of life is still life.
Yeah.
So it's like
I remember that.
I think that that's just something, again, it's like you have to do so much reflecting, and I think it's like natural that you do after watching things like this. Like you probably look at yourself in shame and guilt, and like think to yourself like you know, how you can change, how you can you know, shift perspectives of how you treat things in life, you know, how you treat people in life. And I think that that's something, it's like an hour of life is still life. It's like being grateful. And he kept talking about gratitude. It's like you have to have that. You have to have, you know.
And that's not to say like become a homeless person, become a beggar.
No.
Like abdicate, like just like leave everything behind and just go live on the street. What the movie also showed towards the end is that you can have a very prosperous life. Sorry. It's like a dry throat. Sorry, wait. You can have
drink some water.
Sorry, it's just all the emotions. Okay. You can have abundance, you can have wealth, you can accumulate things. As long as you strike a balance between what you value materialistically and what you value humanistically, if that's even a word. It's like, that's what he did. He leveraged his wealth to save lives. So it was important that he was a rich man. It was important that everything he did. So everything serves a purpose too. I don't believe in coincidences anymore, and I stopped believing recently. And that's another example of it. I think that everything has its purpose. He had to be blind in the beginning in order for him to become awakened towards the end. It's like that's how everybody's born. We're all born blind, and then life teaches us on how to awaken.
And then something I want to point out is like we should maintain our childlike innocence as much as possible, because obviously life kind of strips that away from us. But I think this movie shows, like, when you see a child like saving a woman that he could have, you know, gotten killed. When we see a child saving a whole line of grown men, a child stepping forward and saying, I know who did it, risking his life because they said, like, was it you? I knew, like, it was you, wasn't it? And then, you know, he risked for a second because he could have stepped forward and killed him. And so it's like that childlike innocence, it's like all you can think is like, what is the right thing? It's like, what is, because to them it's like all they know is the innocent choice. It's like the innocent choice is to obviously save others. It's to spare lives. It's to, you know.
And that's a message that our innocence, our inner innocence, is the only thing that's capable of saving all of us.
Yeah.
It's like if we all just listen to our child and to our inner child and to that purity and that essence, then we would all just be completely, you know, peaceful beings.
And then the very last thing that I have is just like how traumatic it must have been, like, every time, because it happened multiple times where families are pulled apart. So if you have a hard time like sympathizing or envisioning like something like this happen, just imagine you with your family and being in this situation and being torn apart from each other, not knowing what their fate would end up being, you know.
Never seeing them again.
Yeah, and it just being, you know, and
knowing that atrocious, like, horrific things were done to them.
Yeah, and so it's like so many parts in the movie we saw that, like, even at the end where the Danka daughter was being pulled from her mom, and then she's like yelling, screaming and kicking and trying to get a hold of her daughter again, and then it's just like you can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's like you even have to like there's no action, right? Like there's no action, there's no words.
Because if you step out of line, then you're going to get shot. If you complain, you're going to get shot. If you ask questions, if you speak out of line, you're going to get shot. So you can't express yourself.
Yeah, and so that's something powerful too. It's like, I think that, and I'm not even applying that just to this situation. I think that that's something important, is just like placing yourself in other people's shoes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
trying to see it from that perspective and being able to sympathize in that way.
Both sides too, just like I said.
Yeah, and then, just, I think that always be open-minded and have an open heart to, various situations, even if it's not something that you would initially empathize with naturally, whatever the point, whatever it is. Like, I'm saying this for like anybody having personal troubles with someone else or whatever the case is. It's like, what good is that?
Yeah.
And what good is doing anyone?
And speaking of what good, the quote that went through my mind when we saw Schindler packing all his money into suitcases when he was like leaving, I guess, is what good does a man to gain the world but lose his soul? I think it's something like that. It's like a biblical quote.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw. It's like he decided, because everybody gets to decide. It's like, do you want to gain the world or do you want to gain your soul or really...
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but like that's what I thought of.
Yeah.
Is that all this chase and this focus on money, it just drives a man off the brink of humanity. It's like you exit humanity.
Yeah, you don't nourish what's within. It's like this soul, this spirit that you have.
Yeah, empathy. And I think that even that scene where the Goeth guy, he told Stern to look at him so that he wouldn't forget who he works for. And when he looked at him, the camera shot was just of his eyes, and his eyes had this just blank, cold stare. And that was supposed to let everybody know that this guy is beyond saving. Like, this guy is so far off that he has no glimmer of humanity left in those eyes.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is, it's crazy because imagine looking into the eyes of these people who look at you with their eyes filled with pain and just horror and just, I don't know.
Desperation.
Yeah, and all you do is laugh and you kill them and you just continue and you just treat them as scum. And that's what he was realizing when he was falling in love, is like, hath Jews not have eyes or something like that? Like, do Jews have not eyes? And this is not, these are not the eyes of a rat, It's like, because it's a human being.
Yeah.
There's a soul in there. And I feel like even he kind of sensed it. Like, he saw glimpses of it at least,
And, like, the last thing I want to say is that it's very easy for us to, like, view this in, like, a movie standpoint because we watch the movie. But then it's, like, the more you sit and, like, this was reality. It's like,
you can't talk about the movie.
I can't, but I can't.
We're talking about history.
I know, but I can't even talk about it from that perspective because it's just so, like, it's just so mind-boggling. Like, you can't wrap your head around it. Like, you don't want to. It's like you don't want to believe that this happened. You want to refuse it. Like, every part of your being just wants to, like, dissociate, just wants to refuse that this could ever happen. And that it's happened not in just this scenario, but multiple scenarios, multiple instances.
Cyclical.
Right. Generations,
Which
years.
is the scariest part. Scariest part is just to understand that this is cyclical.
And this went on for years because they said it was 6 years, but it probably was longer.
1 million Jews per year, essentially, because he said 6 million.
And you think about that, like, at that, like, 1,100, and then those only had like 6,000 descendants. But think about the millions of
descendants that could have happened.
Right, just like
so
flourishing lives that could have existed but don't now. Yeah,
36 million could have produced 36 million at the same. I think I don't know if I'm good at math. Yeah,
at the same. But. Yeah, like that's something that it's like once you step away from the movie, once your time kind of like sits with you with it, and then you could just think about it more and just
Yeah, and we've been thinking also about after we watch these movies, like not all of them, but some of them kind of warrant a deeper analysis. So either we'll create like once we've sat with the movie and we've maybe like revisited it a few times, we'll sit down again to record another one of these like banters, like of us just talking about it more and then having more notes, and because we have to go back and we have to kind of remove ourselves emotionally as much as we can in order to really break down the specifics about the film itself. But that's all to say that we'll either do it as a standalone review video, which I don't know if you guys would be up for that, because then we can also like watch movies that are new in like movie theaters, which we haven't really done this year. And then we can go to a movie theater, watch it, and then come back and just do a review like this. So if this is something that interests you guys, the best way to let us know is literally by just commenting below, and then we can even do polls where we'll put a few options of what movies are in the theaters, and then you guys get to decide which ones we go out and watch, and then we come back and we do reviews. But that's all to say that we'll definitely revisit this one, and if we don't release a separate review for it on the channel in the future, we'll maybe talk about it on the podcast that we do on our podcast channel, Mentally Gone Podcast. But yeah, that's all to say that even with all this time spent talking about it, we still haven't really talked about it.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah.
But that's all I have, at least for now. Like, I can't even exert any more emotional.
I'm exhausted.
Like, emotionally, it's just, and it sounds, see, like, even that sounds like so ignorant to say, because it sounds like the times in the film where they're like, oh, I have a headache. Like, what if, where would I be if I came 5 minutes later? I mean, where would he be? If you came 5 minutes later from saving him,
Yeah. But I just want to add on to that, saying that it's because also about logistics, unfortunately. It's like we can't upload like a 5-hour video to YouTube. Like, we can, but it's going to take a lot of editing, a lot of time, uploading and everything. So it's not really feasible in that way. And then on top of it, I think that this is a movie that you rewatch countless times, and you really analyze it scene by scene and character by character, and just do character studies and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I'm exhausted. Like, I'm not exhausted. I'm just like very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've used up the energy I have today, which again sounds awful, but it's just true. It's like I have to really just take a break.
No, but it is like after these like movies, like any reaction, like we just have to
decompress.
We do, because it's like a lot of the times they're a lot, especially when it makes us like emotional. We do have to kind of just
take a break,
gather ourselves. Like, we're not able to record anything else after these, like, that's for sure. Like,
this is like our main like, we even schedule, and this might be too much information, and this is already at the deep end of the episode, so whoever's here, if you want to comment below that you made it to the deep end. But we've been like struggling to like schedule our content production, and we always reserve an entire day for these movie reactions.
Yeah.
Because it's so much work. Like, it's so much, like, it's very taxing. But also, it's one of, and I'll say this confidently, to me, it's one of the if not the most meaningful and purposeful things that I've done in a while. Because we do the podcast, and it's more fun, it's more lighthearted, but we do touch on serious topics too. But it's more conspiracy talk, and like we talk shop about aliens and hauntings and conspiracy theories, Satanism, and all that stuff, right? It's like a Joe Rogan, like OG Joe Rogan vibe. But then this is like art.
Yeah, it's real.
This is like analyzing paintings, like this is real. This is humanity. This is spirituality. This is religion. This is real. So this is the realest thing that I've been doing recently when it comes to like contribution, I think.
Yeah, me too.
In my best way at the moment that I can contribute is just by sharing, and just by hopefully garnering the right attention and the right people who are also, accepting this open invite to just join this community and just make it your own. Just comment, start a thread in the comments, do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's as much ours as it is you guys.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, for sure.
All right. So with that being said, do you have anything else?
No, I'm gonna sleep after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat. I have been fasting all day, and it's currently 10 o'clock, guys. 10 p.m.
Wow.
We started at what?
6? No.
6 p.m. I think. 5 maybe.
No, it was like 5. Yeah.
It was 5 p.m. So 5 hours later, we are on a 5-hour shift.
Yeah.
And we're gonna call it here. So apologies again if we're a little bit tired, because we are a little bit tired. Been a long day on top of that.
My back's hurting with this chair too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip.
Flippity flip.
You guys can expect more content this week on Patreon. This will be early access, obviously, on Patreon, and every other movie that comes out on YouTube, you'll always have first access and the full uncut version on Patreon exclusively. And yeah, with that being said, don't forget that it's never wrong
To be meant say gone.
Peace
to the world.